In 1972, the terrifying children's plan was launched by Cypher. The result was the complete genetic replicating digital cloning technology, different from Solid and Liquid, who aimed to enhance their abilities by consolidating Big Boss's soldier characteristics of inferiority and superiority. Solidus, as an individual with a golden star in genetics, was born with 100% perfection. If Solid and Liquid are considered 60% Big Boss juice, then Solidus can be said to have 100% squeezed out Big Boss juice. What is Big Boss juice? Essentially, Solidus is a solid snake created by Cypher. This makes him the third clone of Big Boss after Liquid Snake, and he was raised as a soldier operative in Cypher's facilities after birth. In the novel Metal Gear Solid Substance 2, internal divisions in Cypher caused Major Zero to send Skullface to Africa, and for a while Solidus also found himself in Africa. During this time in Africa, Solidus participated in the Liberian Civil War. He kidnapped many children during this time, including Raiden, the protagonist of Metal Gear Solid 2. The children who refused to fight with guns were mercilessly killed, and the remaining children, including Raiden, were raised as soldiers. For Raiden, Solidus was his foster parent. Incidentally, Raiden's real parents were murdered by Solidus during the kidnapping. Raiden had his memories sealed until the main story of Metal Gear Solid 2, but that's explained in Raiden's video, so please watch it if you're interested. He took the lives of Raiden and many of his children's parents and raised them under his own care for a reason. This is at the beginning of Solidus' cursed life. Solidus Snake, born a perfect clone of Big Boss, was a 100% match for Big Boss. Due to being born with the same length telomeres as Big Boss, who was around 40 years old at the time, he was aging much faster than normal humans. Additionally, even his reproductive functions were removed at birth to prevent his military use by other forces. Spending his youth under Cypher, he naturally came to know the secret of his own birth. Upon learning the truth of his situation, Solidus couldn't find happiness, and he wished to leave a living testimony of himself, in a life that was limited more than others. However, Cypher, which created him, is aiming for perfect information control through digital technology, and is trying to take away the power to think freely from the citizens using AI. They are trying to take it away not only through genetic genes but also through cultural genes and even memes. He cursed his own fate and tried to break the curse and regain his life by surpassing his parents. Like Liquid Snake, Solidus also cursed his own fate. But he tries to leave a living testimony of himself in a different way than with Liquid. Yes, that leads to the kidnapping of children in Liberia, starting with Leiden. Since Solidus was deprived of reproductive function as a clone, he wanted to raise children for the purpose of creating children who would inherit his own genes. And Solidus destroyed the Patriots, and George Washington, who once called himself the Sons of Liberty, Joe. George Washington, who called himself the Sons of Liberty, yearned to proclaim the birth of a free nation in Manhattan once again, as the Founding Fathers did. Panda dreamed of being freed from a life of luxury and living in a free country. 205 Shadow Moses Island, Alaskan Peninsula, Fox Islands. The next generation of the Foxhound Special Forces and its 3 families suddenly abandoned the Foxhound Islands. They occupied the nuclear weapons disposal site on Hokkaido Island. The fatality in the case was Liquid Snake. U.S. Secretary of Defense Jim Houseman took the situation seriously and appointed former commander of the Special Forces Foxhound, Captain Roy Campbell, as Operations Commander. We lived a reclusive life in Alaska and summoned Solid Snake. I ordered a solo infiltration mission. A few years before this incident, Solidus had long been a pawn in the Patriots' favor, working for the United States, and was appointed the 43rd President of the United States in the name of George Sears. And it was around this time that they started taking covert action to conduct their rebellion against the Patriots. A man appears before him. This man collaborates with Solidus, later instigating the Shadow Mock incident by Liquid Snake, and attempts to provide Solidus with the military power necessary to oppose the Patriots, starting with Metal Gear Rex. The man's first name is Ocelot. He appeared to cooperate with Liquid, while secretly planning to transfer his military power to Solidus. However, his appearance in front of Solidus was actually part of a planned performance. A man who handles all sorts of snakes. You can also check out the story of Ocelot, who devoted everything to Big Boss in another article. His story is quite, for lack of a better word, something. It's definitely better to see it for yourself. Yes, you should definitely see it for yourself. No, this is not an advert. Solidus was the mastermind behind the entire Shadow Mock incident with the help of Ocelot. But a series of events including Solidus' plan and Liquid's Shadow Mock are destroyed by CIA agent Solid Snake. However, Solidus secretly obtained Rex's experimental data from Ocelot. Solidus pacified the Patriots with this, resigning as president soon after. Afterwards, they went underground to avoid assassination by the Patriots. In 2009, the giant offshore decontamination facility Big Shell in Manhattan was taken over by Sons of Liberty. The terrorist group known as Sons of Liberty had captured it. At the time, the facility was being visited by the current US president and several dignitaries who were taken hostage. They demanded a ransom of $300 billion in gold. If the demands were not met, they announced they would blow up Big Shell with a large amount of explosives. If the planted explosives were detonated, it would trigger a chemical disaster. As a result, one would witness the worst environmental destruction in history. Snake was assigned to handle this incident. His real objective was to hack into GW, the AI that controls Arsenal gear. He discovered a list of 12 members of the Patriots, the leaders of the Patriots. His plan was to assassinate them. And as a final step, he intended to detonate a pure hydrogen bomb launched from Arsenal gear above Manhattan. It would generate a powerful electromagnetic pulse, aiming to free the Patriots' electronic network and establish an independent district. However, actually, the Patriots were an organization that existed during the times of the wise men of the major war era. In reality, such an organization doesn't exist for the current Patriots from the beginning. Actually, the 12 people Solidus sought were just members of the Patriots used for disguise. Then it was revealed that Ocelot, who appeared to be cooperating with Solidus, was actually a spy for the Patriots. It turns out the pure hydrogen bomb was a decoy. He realizes that he was also nothing more than a pawn in the S3 plan. This S3 plan is for the mental health of society, for the total control of the world. Selection for Societal Solidity is an acronym for Digital Information Control Management Plan of TOTA. However, even in the outline of this S3 plan, Solidus is an experience that Solid Snake had Solid Snake simulation. An attempt to reproduce the battlefield enshrined by Patriots and Ocelot GW was destroyed thanks to the efforts of Raiden and Snake. Solidus, unable to obtain information about the Patriots, lost everything. The only remaining method was to reverse detect the Patriots from the nanomachines implanted in Raiden's brain. They gambled their freedom and release on the roof of the Federal Hall. They faced the final battle. Solidus, defeated by a cut spine at the end of his deathmatch with Raiden, falls from the rooftop. After clinging to the statue of George Washington, he closes the curtains of his life. Furthermore, at the time of the final battle, Solidus frees himself from the moment he was born to Raiden, releases himself from being ruled by Patriots, and says his true purpose was to leave his thoughts and name in history forever, which he couldn't do by having children. He narrates Solidus Snake, who received life in this world as a perfect clone of the legendary hero, inherits 100% of Big Boss's legacy, however, because he knew his fate as the cursed snake. His life strayed far from that of a legendary hero. His entire life was held in the hands of Patriots. Solidus, like Liquid, was tossed around in his own life until the end, having an unfortunate destiny. He was one of those. Thank you very much for watching until the end. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it.